welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going through some makeup favorites that I am currently just loving and some fails and some pretty big fails. So grab your drink, grab your water, your wine, whatever time you're watching this, and let's get into it. So I recently posted that I was testing some new makeup and I've got quite a few of those in here as well. The first one, well, maybe I put it in here. Oh, all the way at the bottom. The first one I wanted to go over is going to be the Haus Labs. This is the Lady Gaga line. It is a medium coverage, skin refreshing kind of foundation. I'm wearing it today and you can see a little bit of a glow coming through. I've had it on just for a couple of hours. Since I have more oily skin, I do need to go in with a pretty matte type of primer for this to be able to work. I'm wearing the e.l.f. primer, which actually, I think I put in here, I did. I've rediscovered this. I've absolutely been loving this. This has been such a great type of foundation for my oily skin as we head into the spring. It's officially spring when I'm filming this, but the weather is still kind of saying winter here in Iowa, so we're in that weird place. But these pair together seem to do really well on my skin. I get about the average wear out of this, which is about 8 or 9 hours. And then my oils will kind of take over. If I blot though, then I can extend the wear time of it to, 10, 11 hours or so, which is about a full day for me. So I really do enjoy this one. It's lightweight. The color match is really good on my skin. I don't know that it's something that I'd be able to wear as I get deeper. I could probably make it work, but this shade right now is fantastic and it does look really, really good on my skin. And like I said, with the e.l.f., this is a rediscovered favorite. I'm really enjoying this. It's affordable, which is the best. And there's a lot in here. Like, I've had this for quite some time and I don't even think like I'm halfway through it. I've really enjoyed falling back in love with this and seeing how this works with any of the foundations I've had in my collection. Another item from that video is this NARS Orgasm palette. It comes with the 4 shades. There is a little bit of a topper on this, I've noticed, but once I get through the topper, the pigment is on point. However, it doesn't necessarily last all day on my oily skin. If I set it with a powder or anything like that, it will last longer, but then it kind of takes away from the punch of the pigment on my skin. But it is a really nice kind of like everyday blush. I tend to mix in like these 3 shades. I have yet to get into this because I just don't do highlighters a lot. I have my own kind of highlighter when my oils peek through, but mixing these 3 together have given me this. I'm wearing this one also today, giving me like this very unique, depending on how they mix and match, very unique yet perfect kind of blush tone for me. So I have really been enjoying this. This is limited edition, so if you were thinking about picking it up, now would be the time to do so. Switching it up just a little bit from things from that new makeup video, I purchased these. No, actually I think I got these for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. And so I've been using them for a while. And I have really mixed feelings about these. I don't think that they deserve the hype that they're getting. At least for me, in regards to setting powders. They do better with pressed powders than they do loose powders. I feel like the loose powders can get a little bit too cakey. The pressed powders, they're much more smooth, they're more seamless and more lightweight. So I personally like these with pressed powders over loose powders when I'm setting underneath my eyes or the middle of my forehead. I feel like my Beauty Blender is still the best all-around setting product applicator. I also have picked up this. This is the LA Girl Pro Color Mixing Foundation. I have been mixing this into my foundations because, of course, during fall and winter months, your skin tone does tend to change because you're not out in the sun so much. And so I don't want to go out and buy all new foundations. This has changed in a positive way the colors or the tints of my foundation without actually changing the formula of my foundations. So I can still wear everything that I've enjoyed for a much cheaper price than going out and buying 2 or 3 of those foundations. I can just mix it accordingly. If it's a mattifying foundation, it still stays matte. It still wears the same amount of time. If it's a more hydrating foundation, it still hydrates the skin. The glow is still there. I don't like too much of a glow because, again, I have oily skin. But if it's more of like that natural kind of finish, it still will give me that natural finish, but just in a lighter shade. So this was a great investment for me and my collection and the ranges and tones that my skin can fluctuate into. Essence has had this setting powder out for quite some time. I feel like I've tried it before and then just recently repurchased it. This is the All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. This is good for setting my lids, but underneath my eyes or all over my face, it's just a no because it does have a white cast. It's not a translucent type of powder, which is the sad part, but it definitely does set, but you can tell that there's just like a little bit of a cast. So on deep or dark skin, I don't think that this would really work. You might be able to use it underneath your foundation. I could probably try that, but I still feel like it would alter that, and I don't want that. That's not what I'm looking for. I have really been enjoying this product, however, from Essence. This is the Fix and Last 18-hour makeup fixing spray. It gives a matte effect and waterproof. I have not tested the waterproof. I'm not going to do all that. In regards to like the matte effect, I would say it's a natural matte. It's not going to be anything crazy. It still allows for your natural skin to come through as like mine is, or the natural feel of the foundation come through, but it's not going to give you like that flat feeling whatsoever. So I don't know that the matte effect part is true. I kind of wish that they would take that off, but I do feel like it does set everything in place really, really well. There is still transfer, like nothing is 100% transfer proof. Like I said, I haven't tested out the waterproof portion of this, but overall I am pleased with this, and the price tag on this was really nice. I think it was less than $8 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is one that I am kind of planning on picking up. The mister on this is a little strong. Like you gonna set your face, you gonna set your face. So I do tend to hold it out a lot farther than some of my other setting sprays in order to get like the even I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but in order to get it to distribute evenly, let me go that way, I have to hold it out just a little bit farther. If it's too close, then I do have to go in with like a powder brush or something to make sure that I don't have any of the droplets on my face. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind when picking this item up. I've got quite a few concealers here, so let me run through them very quickly. This, yes, absolutely, I have loved this. This is creamy. It gives full coverage, but it doesn't feel full coverage. It helps minimize creasing. It evens out my dark under eyes. Then I am planning on getting in another color, like a lighter shade to highlight once the Sephora sale comes through. It lasts all day. Absolutely love this. This is Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Anti-Creasing or something like that. It creases. I have fine lines. It creases on me. It does feel a little bit heavier, but it's not nearly as heavy as this right here, which is the Maybelline Super Stay. This is the older one, the older version. I know that they've repackaged it and reformulated it. I might pick that up. This is not a good representation of that product though, so it doesn't really make me want to pick up another one because it is heavy. I can feel it underneath my eyes or in the middle of my forehead. It's not the best at blending out. I feel like it's a little bit patchy. Definitely have to go in with a damp beauty blender. Brushes don't seem to be the way to go with this one, so I don't know if I'll be picking that one up, but these two I'll probably use up and then yeah, leave it at that. The Rare Beauty Light Reflecting, I think that's what it's called. I got the shade Medium Deep. This is actually a little bit deeper, but also orange. So it works good as a color corrector when I'm wanting to do that extra step in my makeup routine. But as an everyday, I can't see myself using that as an everyday. The applicator on this is actually really weird. So there's a lot of dipping in to make sure that I get enough product to place on my face to achieve anything. Once I get deeper due to the sun, maybe I'll pull this out a little bit more, but because of that orange undertone, I still feel like I would leave it as a color corrector and not actually use it as a concealer. And then this ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer, I feel like this never sets down on my face. Like, I can put powder, I can let it sit for a second or 30, and it still just never officially sets down. This would be great for someone who has dry skin, but on my oily skin, even though my under eyes are a little bit drier, it just does not give what I need it to give. And it just slides around. Like, I don't really care for this product at all. Product I have been loving, this Juvia's Place I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation. I would say that this is more on the radiant side, but not very far. This is almost, I feel like, similar to this. Like, it gives that kind of like natural skin finish, but it's not heavy. It's not, I don't notice it to be thick. I can't feel it on the face. It smells like bubblegum. Who doesn't like the smell of like bubblegum? Like, just, I feel like this is just absolutely beautiful on the skin. It wears really well, especially on my oily skin type. And if I blot it, then of course I can get a longer wear out of it. But if it's just like a chill day, I just want to put on something, this one's a really, really good one for that. These two products I've had in my collection for quite some time. When I originally got them, I loved them. But now my thoughts have really changed on them. This is the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. When I originally got this, it was great. I didn't have any problems, any flaking, smudging, none of that. But I don't know if like it's changed because it's, you know, hit the air, like I've opened it, it's been a good hot minute, like I don't know. But now I get the raccoon eyes. Now I get the smudging, I get the flaking, which is really weird because tubing mascaras were not supposed to do that. So this is not something that I am thinking about picking up, because if the shelf life is going to be that minute, that's not money that I want to spend. Also, this Profusion No Budge eyeshadow primer. Originally loved this. No Budge, they were absolutely on point with it. But then after just a few, I would say maybe 4 or 5 times, I started to notice that the consistency of it had changed, as well as the wear time of the makeup on my eyes had changed. It wasn't staying in place like it was. It was moving around. It just was not doing what I needed it to do in any form or fashion. My eyeshadows weren't nearly as bright as they were at one point, and they didn't like stick to it like they used to. It has a little bit of like a grip, a tiny amount. Like, this is not like the Hydro Grip by any means, which actually, now that I think about it, they have a primer, an eye primer. I might need to check that out. But this one, I'm honestly ready to get it out of my collection because it switched up on me, and I'm not about that life. This Tubing Mascara, it didn't work from the get-go. Like, the first day that I used it, no. This is the LA Colors Biggie Lash. I like the price point on this. It was like $6. I was like, okay, let me try it. Let me see what it do. It do nothing. Nothing at all. So this one is also one that I will be getting out of my collection. A couple things I will be keeping in my collection. This LYS blush. This is in Empower. I actually got a 3-piece of this, so I need to dip into the other 2 for Christmas. I have really enjoyed this. This is creamy. I can put this on top of powder. I can put this under powder. Some cream blushes are so finicky, like you have to use them before you use powder. I don't have any of that. No blotchiness. Like, it's just smooth. It's creamy. It stays in place all day. Even when my oils start to shine through, it's right there. This also, which is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This is a great dupe. A great dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bomb in, is it Fenty Glow? Fenty Fussy? One of those. This is so lightweight. It doesn't have a lot of stickiness to it. It's got a little bit of the tackiness just so that it stays in place, but it's not where if you press your lips together, you feel like they are taking their time to separate. There's none of that. It does have a little bit of pigment in it, but it's such a flattering pigment on my skin tone that it's just like a natural, like I just licked my lips kind of color. So for this price point, again, Maybelline, they actually did their thing on this one. That's fantastic. I recently did a video where I did some makeup tips, tricks, hacks that have either been around or were like new, you know, viral, all that kind of thing. And one of them was color correcting. And so I picked up the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This actually broke my face out. Like where I concealed at, which was right in this area here, a little bit over here, broke my face out. Like I don't understand what happened, but this does not like me, and therefore I do not like it. I love this Rem Beauty. This is a felt tip eyeliner in Midnight Black. This goes on so smooth. The pigment is just like right there. There's no bleeding. It stays in place all day. My eyelids are oily, y'all. Like fry some chicken. Let's get it. Whole soul food dinner, oily. And this stays in place so well. Like look at that. Just one little swipe. No problems. This one's giving my one size a run for its money. I have loved this. This is now going to be a staple. I think there's other shades, and so I might be picking them up. We'll see. I also have been enjoying this Flower Beauty Skin Smoothie Power Matte Primer. This is not a deep matte. Like it's not going to, at least for me, has not sucked out all the life out of my face by any means. So power may not be the best word, but it is more of a matte primer. It has a sunscreen-like consistency and a little bit of a smell, but not something that lingers or lasts. I do notice like an immediate matteness to my face. It smooths. It does help for my foundation to stay in place a lot longer throughout the day. So this one was a really good one. I was pleasantly surprised because there's not a lot from Flower Beauty that I've tried or that I've liked, but this one I really have been enjoying. We're getting down to the last few products here. This L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Bronzer. It is definitely matte, but it's finicky. Depending on the foundation and the primer that I use, it can be a little patchy or uneven. It just sometimes it's not like to blend. It also, I think, depends on the blush that I'm using. So this one is definitely one to kind of be cautious about. Pigment is there. Like they did great on the pigment. It's just the formula can be a little bit finicky, and sometimes I just don't got time for it. This Fluff Up Brow Wax by Benefit has been something I've been reaching for a lot lately. This gives me a soft hold on my brows. It doesn't give me like soap brows. My hairs will still move, but they will kind of just look fuller. It's clear. Well, in here it's white, but then it does dry down clear, so there's not any residue, any left behind like that on the product. Stays in place really well, but still just like that soft hold. So like I could still, you know, if I wanted to move my brows, I could still finesse them like I needed. When I'm like drawing on them, it still gives a nice flow to any of the pencils. I tend to use pencils, so any of the pencils that I'm using, just yeah, this one I was actually surprised by this one, to be honest. This ioni that I got from the Dollar Tree, this is like a hot pink liquid lipstick. This just crumbles and bunches and gets into the lines on my mouth. I know it was only $1, well, $1.25, but I still want makeup that's going to do something, and this did nothing. So this one is not one that I would recommend. That line, I know that there's other colors of that. It can stay on the shelf. This can also stay on the shelf. This is from Kiss. It's their My Lash But Better. I don't know that this one has a name. Oh, Blessed. Right here on the package. The band is super thin, which is really the problem, because it's so thin that it's hard to navigate and put it where you need it to go. I did not like these one bit. I can't. I don't want my band to be noticeable by any means, but I needed to have a little bit of something so that when I lay it down and I try and, you know, attach properly another portion, it's not flimsy, it's not moving, it's staying right intact where I need it to be. It didn't matter how long I let the glue dry or how tacky I let it get, it just would still move around, and I don't have time for that. So these ones I don't specifically care for. I also, last product in here, picked up this Beauty Blender Solid Unscented Cleanser. It does come with a matte. The matte is garbage. I threw it away. I don't even know where it's at. Not even gonna lie. I thought it was in here. It gone forever. But this I hadn't cleaned my brushes for longer than I'd like to admit. And so I needed something that was going to give a deep clean, that was going to knock out any and everything up on them. And this absolutely did that. I just took my brushes, dampened them, swirled it around in here. I do have a little mat that I got from a friend who I think got from Five Below. And she didn't care for it, so she gave it to me. And I ran it on there, and they were clean. They were absolutely clean. I didn't have to scrub a lot. I didn't have to put it in any elbow grease, any of that. I also used it on my sponges, dampened them, put those on here, you know, squished them out a few times, rinsed them out. Those were a little bit more of a challenge to try and get clean, but they did come clean. It wasn't anything that I was sweating over, which is a big thing because sponges can be, whew, Lord, it's a sponge. It's going to suck up a lot of things. So this I actually am really excited about and excited to keep using to see how it's going to continue to perform on my brushes. But it was a pleasant surprise that this was, I think it was like 20 bucks, and this was a good investment for that $20. Alright guys, so that is all of my current favorites, and of course a few fails in there as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. Please make sure that you also like this video. It really does just help out my channel to grow, get it in front of more fabulous people like yourself. I love you guys. May God continue to bless you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.